Hello, my name is Kris Anderson, and I'm a product manager here at Trend Micro. Today I'm going to be talking about discovering your attack surface with a unified cybersecurity platform. If you think about your environment, it's very complex. There's a lot of moving parts, and there could be endpoints, of course, emails, SaaS apps, maybe cloud storage or cloud application usage, as well as SaaS application usage. And then there's everything else, the IoT and the OT that may be running in your network as well. Trend Micro brings together Cloud One, our Network One, and our Workforce One into one platform. This platform allows you to discover your attack surface, assess the risk, and mitigate that risk. We also have connections into ecosystem integrations, and we leverage our global threat intelligence from all of our research centers around the world. When we look at Trend Micro One zoomed in, there's security operations, applications, and use cases to help your security operations teams. These are backed by multiple sensors that are homegrown here at Trend Micro that cover your endpoint and email, your cloud security, and your network security. However, we do have that ecosystem I mentioned on the right-hand side, covering different SIMs and SOARs, cloud service providers, vulnerability assessment, external attack surface management, identity and access management, and environments and apps. We combine all of this telemetry to be able to provide the security operations you see in the first layer. One of those is discovering the attack surface. What we mean by discovering your attack surface is continuous visibility of cyber assets that create your attack surface over time against industry benchmarks. This is the first step, is the discovery. After you've discovered all of your assets, not just a piece of them, you can move to assess the risk of those and then mitigate that risk with guidance. Let's explore more closely discovering your attack surface. When we think about your attack surface, it's really broken up into three groups: application-centric, network connection-centric, and user and device-centric. When we speak about application-centric, your attack surface may include cloud accounts, cloud-native applications, cloud compute, cloud storage, and code repositories. From the network side, your attack surface may include network devices, unmanaged devices, a 360-degree view of the traffic, and your service edge. From the user and device side, your attack surface includes user accounts, desktops, servers, mobile devices, email, and SaaS application usage. It's important to be able to discover your complete attack surface. It's the first step, and there's more steps to go.
This is exciting, and let me run the first demo. So the first step in understanding our risk posture is discovering our cyber asset attack surface, including both internal and external assets. Today, the new attack surface discovery finds known and unknown devices inside and outside the corporate perimeter. It also supports the discovery of internet-facing assets, including public domains and IP addresses. We will add user account discovery. We also plan to expand use cases to discover much more of the attack surface, including cloud apps, cloud workload, and cloud storage, which is coming soon. Let's start from device. Let me show you how we discover managed and unmanaged devices. Vision One's attack surface discovery creates an initial estimated number of devices based on seat count, telemetry data, and devices discovered through third-party integrations such as Active Directory. We can also identify risky devices and see the level of security applied to devices which are managed by a Trend Micro agent. Vision 1 allows you to drill down to examine the attack surface more closely. To do so, simply click on one of the numbers in blue. By drilling down into the attack surface discovery app, we can examine the risk insights in detail. Here, you can see how we help the SOC team to prioritize and manage risks by showing the devices most at risk. At every stage of the attack surface user interface, we actively encourage customers to enable as many data sources as possible. Let me click to extend the visibility. Here, you can see the list of all data sources. The more data sources that are connected to the Trend Micro 1 platform, the more complete your overall security posture will be. Vision 1 includes connectors for Trend Micro products across the endpoints, email, web, server, and network platforms. In addition, we also have an ever-evolving ecosystem of third-party integrations, helping to build a more complete attack surface visibility by including risk insights for user accounts, Office 365 usage, vulnerability management, and third-party web and firewall telemetry. And more will be added in the future release. Now, let's move to the next attack surface, internet-facing assets. Trend Micro has developed a partnership with BitDiscovery to discover internet-facing assets. Vision 1 will correlate data from BitDiscovery and other existing data sources to discover domain names and public-facing IP addresses. Vision 1 knows every bit of the internet, making inventory management quick and easy. As you can see, Vision 1 has identified the domains and public IP address. Assets are geographically identifiable, easily helping to identify any rogue public-facing assets. You can drill down into these internet-facing assets and identify unexpected services and ports that are in use. Additionally, we can also see security issues related to our domains, for example, weak encryption and certificate issue. We plan to introduce the discovery of user accounts in Q2. In this case, it doesn't need to have a Trend Micro agent deployed to retrieve this information. Vision 1 could see the attack surface of user account from Active Directory and prioritize the user account risk by showing the users most at risk. As we discover user accounts, we map connections between each account using the asset graph so that over time, we are able to discover more assets and their relationships, and also learn more about the attack path and the risk profile. For example, we will look at multiple accounts used by one device. We look at account privilege, we predict potential attack paths, and more. Like I mentioned earlier, we plan to discover much more of the attack surface beyond user accounts, devices, and internet-facing assets to include cloud infrastructure assets. So this is the demo to showcase the first stage of the risk lifecycle, attack surface discovery.
Today, I'm going to be talking about assessing your risk with a unified cybersecurity platform. After you pull together all of the activity data from all of your devices and services that are used within your organization, you can then move to assessing the risk of those. Assessing the risk within your cloud assets could look like cloud misconfigurations, or open source usage, or even vulnerabilities. Risk within your environment could be lateral movement, CNC callback, risky system configurations, vulnerabilities, and risks to your users or identities, such as account compromise, potentially malicious activity and behaviors, phishing attacks, and more.
Next, I will show you how we assess risk, leveraging that risk formula. Here, you can see the executive dashboard landing page in Vision 1, which gives the CISO an overall risk index score based upon several factors, including your infrastructures, vulnerability exposures, attack and threat detections, and security configurations. The risk index is a comprehensive score based on the dynamic and continuous assessment. With this insight, organizations can take company-wide remediation steps and preventive measures to lower the company-wide risk index over time. The risk index also enables the CISO to compare their risks over time and see how their organization compares to other organizations of a similar size, in a similar region, or in the same industry. This is often the type of information that the C-level and board wants to see. It provides a way for senior security leaders to communicate their efforts and the results. In addition to the overall company security posture, Vision 1 also provides risk assessments for individual users and devices. Here, for example, if I click one device, we can see the risk factors which contribute to the risk score of this device. And we can drill down into the individual risk indicators, such as XDR detection, cloud app activity, and threat detection. We can even pivot through to the XDR workbench to do further investigation. Now that we have seen the company overall risk index and risk profiling per user or device, we move on to the exposure overview to understand the severity of threats in our environment and the likelihood of them being exploited. Today, the exposure index is calculated by examining unpatched vulnerability, system configuration. However, we will also be adding additional factors, including activity and behaviors. The Unpatched Vulnerabilities tab includes widgets to help understand the state of patching within the organization. Here are some examples. Mean time to patch shows the average time taken to deploy patches, and more widgets to help customers to prioritize vulnerabilities to patch. CVE density, the number of CVEs per endpoint, clearly shows the assets which need immediate attention. By clicking View Details, you can drill down to examine the vulnerable endpoints. Here you can see a list of endpoints and the associated vulnerability count per endpoint. This helps us to prioritize which endpoints need the most urgent attention. In System Configuration tab, we can identify unexpected public services and ports that should not be exposed to the internet. We can also identify hosts with insecure connection issues, which may result in data leaking during data transmission. Let me click View Details to look at the host list with insecure connection issues. Examples include deprecated encryption protocols, invalid or expired certificates, and more. We'll be adding more infrastructure risk factors into the exposure overview in Q2 and later this year, such as cloud security posture management, misconfiguration check in Active Directory, and more to come. Next, we come to Attack Index, which helps the CISO understand the attack intensity on their organization. The index is calculated based on the number of known detections, the number of impacted assets, and the severity of each unique threat type defined by Trend Micro threat experts. This helps prioritize what's critical. The attack index includes widgets, which breaks attacks down into the attack phase and the attack vector. We also show you the latest top 3 threats in your industry and the impact. Additionally, you can view attacks by the attack type and by the attack layer, email, endpoint, or network. This type of insight can help identify where the greatest attack intensity is being felt and shed light on where added controls could be helpful. Next, we have the security configuration overview, which gives the CISO visibility of the deployment of the critical controls. For example, how many devices we discovered, how many have deployed security protection, and how many have not deployed yet. We also provide deeper insight into which security features have been enabled. So this is how we assess risk by providing C-level management view and a more tactical and detailed SOC view to help our customers to understand and communicate the risk.
I'm going to go over mitigating risk with a unified cybersecurity platform. Once you've fully and accurately discovered your attack surface, you can assess that risk and then move to mitigate risk. Mitigating risk in cloud might mean correcting cloud misconfigurations, disabling accounts that shouldn't be there, and shielding from vulnerabilities. On your endpoints or devices, harden end-user devices, isolate and quarantine activities, update layered protection, and shield from vulnerabilities as well. On the network side, harden network devices, block IPs and protocols, and shield from vulnerabilities at that level.
Okay, so let's go to the last demo. Now that we have discovered our attack surface and assessed our risk posture, it's time to move on to the third stage of the attack surface risk management lifecycle, risk mitigation. Trend Micro expert response guidance coming soon assists our customers with their mitigation efforts. And security playbooks help accelerate internal processes and automate threat response workflows. Security teams can use these automated playbooks to address various use cases, such as threat intelligence enrichment, incident response, vulnerability management, threat hunting, and so on. Playbooks can be quickly and easily created from the predefined templates. Here, you can see the playbook editor, which provides easy automation through a simple interface, suitable for users at all levels of coding ability. The playbook editor enables you to input condition settings, such as operating system, endpoint type, and IP address. And also action settings, such as notification method, and soon the ability to edit the notification template. As you can see, Vision One makes it easy for security analysts to create the playbook from templates. And in Q2, we will support more advanced users with the ability to create their own playbooks from scratch. So this is how we mitigate the risk via an accelerated workflow using Vision One security playbooks. The workflow could be automatically running or could request user interaction to move on to the next stage based on what customers need.
So why choose Trend Micro One? Well, Trend Micro One, a unified cybersecurity platform, allows you to discover your attack surface with continuous visibility of cyber assets that create your attack surface over time, and then compare that against industry benchmarks. We then use that information to assess your risk. Assess risk factors, status of vulnerabilities, configurations of security controls, and types of attack activities being observed. And then we help to mitigate that risk. With guidance, you can prioritize and apply the right preventive controls or take steps to mitigate and remediate risks across the enterprise. Trend Micro puts customers first. With constant conversations with our customer base, we understand the true needs that they're looking for in a solution. Because of this, customers have chosen us as customer's choice in the Gartner Peer Insights. Listening to customers has given us a competitive edge with analysts that have allowed us to be in the leadership position in several reports. With Forrester, the Endpoint Security Software as a Service, Enterprise Email Security, Endpoint Detection and Response, and Extended Detection and Response, XDR. Also, when we go into testing, we constantly outperform. With the MITRE Ingenuity attack evaluations, we were praised for the highest initial detection with low noise. Top 3 for visibility and telemetry, 100% of Linux attacks detected, and 100% detection across attack steps, 100% of Linux attacks detected and prevented, and number 1 in protection. We've prepared lots of offers to help you experience the power of the unified cybersecurity platform to better understand, communicate, and mitigate cyber risks across your organization to do more with less. Visit our Trend Micro One showcase page with the QR code on the screen. You can request a demo for the unified cybersecurity platform, sign up online for the Cloud Security Immersion Day for Azure, participate in our online fun activity of virtual challenge to win a drone. And we also have 1-hour customer briefings in Seattle downtown for 3 different topics: government, SOC in a box solution, cloud security, and SOC and XDR security. Let us know how we can support you to see more, respond faster, and be more resilient.